Uh-oh. It's not good. Liza P. That's why downstream stickers, because you're on fucking. Where's the volume? What's happening? Why can't I hear anything? No, wait, stop it, Jace. I can't hear that. No, everybody stop. I can't hear nothing. Oh, I didn't open the program. I'm here. I'm late, but I'm here. It's serious. They don't work on this screen, Chatty. I gotta put cooldowns on those so you don't overstimulate everybody. I'll put it on my to-do list. I haven't gotten a stream for notifications so long. I'm so sorry. I'm back from outer space. How are you, Jordan? How you feeling? How have you been? To be fair, I did take off for like 2 months, so. Now you're all stuck with me. Yeah, you're all stuck with me. I'm gonna preemptively do this now while I'm on the starting soon screen. Actually, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I'm already late. Nobody needs the starting screen. Yeah. Yeah. Good morning, good evening, good day. What's happening? What's up? What it do, baby boo? Happy motherfucking Monday. Jace got first. Chatty got first, second. Beast got first, third. Numbers are hard. So am I. Just kidding. Hi, Chatty. How are you? Technically, Jesse was first in chat, Mr. I'm working, but I'm going to put emotes in chat. Can't confirm. He's on the phone, but he couldn't actually. Well, I mean, he could see that, but that's fine. Anyway, Jordan, how are you? How have you been?
Hi, I'm Paul.
How have you been? What have you been up to? No, everybody play the sounds. No, you're overstimulating people. Vacation was good. It was a nice little getaway. I went to Texas. I got my Southern on, but I didn't have any sweet tea because I was genuinely afraid that I would fall in love with the sweet tea. And then
Hi, I'm Paul.
Don't gotta get hard if you stay hard. All right. I was afraid that I was going to fall in love with the iced tea, and then I would come back home and I wouldn't be able to get any. So I was like, fuck. First and foremost, Jace and Axios, aka Jesse, aka Daddy. Thank you both for the resub. I appreciate the heavens on you. I do not need to do that. You can save your money. It's okay. It's okay. But I appreciate you. Thank you. And I did go to see the Mans. Spent the weekend with him. Threw that ass in a circle. I'm just kidding. There was no circling. I don't know why it's not working. Also, why isn't that working? What the fuck? No, all of my commands are broken. Streamerbot, why you do this? All I did was update you. Please hold. Under my umbrella. Wait. Yes, Chatty. While I'm trying to fix your commands. None of them are working. For why? That's what I'm trying to do. I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna close the program and we're gonna reopen it and hope that it works. But now I can't see the icon because somebody made me take my glasses off. Oh wait. Oh, Beast. Which one is that for? Swearing or is that? Oh, the glasses. Okay. Just kidding. Thanks. Appreciate. Can somebody find somebody who has the ability to use it? Can somebody find the Bing Bong emote and put that in there and let me know if that one works? Or the lizard one? P's and Q's. Aw, doo-doo butter. Okay, calm down. Jason Chatty, same exact time. We're just like, bah. Okay, well, wait, we do have streaks. Wait, where's Jace's streak first? A 7-stream streak? Jesse, 20-stream streak. Hell yeah. Good morning, Vix. How are you? How you doing? How you feeling? Forget about it. Wait, those aren't working either? What is happening? Why is everything breaking? I know that they work. Well, that one didn't work because I didn't reopen the program. I asked you guys to do all that, and guess what I didn't do? Reopen the program. It's not working. But I have them all in here. Do I need to log in again? Is that what's happening? Platforms. Twitch. Haha! Big brain. Oh, I have to log into this one and my bot account. You're such a bitch. Am I more than you bargained for yet? Wait, I need my bot account's on a different one. I don't want to log into that one as my... No. Hi, Jace.
Hi.
All right, Beyblade and let it rip. It should work now. Wait for it. Derry. Okay. Okay.
You told us to Beyblade and let it rip.
I
so
did.
We did.
I thought someone was going to use the Beyblade, not ear fuck my ears with sounds. I meant sound fuck my ears, but ear fuck my ears is what came out of my mouth. It's fine. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's all right. How do I leave? I don't remember how I logged into my bot account. Aha! Ha 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 ha. Log out. Log in. No. What have you been doing, Robert?
It's not coming through on stream.
Hold on. Give me a second. I got this. We can do this.
Hold in.
I gotta figure out where I had them coming.
5, Teddy.
What?
Yo? IT support analyst? Turn it off and on again, guys.
Did we do it?
What have you been doing, Robert?
Do it. Execute Order 66.
Okay. All right.
Kaboom! You've been lawyered.
See what happened was not only
Execute Order 66.
Home! That's your home! Are you too good for your home?
why don't we get it out of our system? Just
Suck my white ass, Paul!
just give it all to me right now. Just whatever you want to put in chat. Just right now.
Hey, yo.
No, don't make that dirty. Don't. God damn it, Jason. Hey, Ness, what doing? Fixing things. Because I
It's
broke it.
not
Did it?
my fault, it's what you said.
It's not my fault. That's what you said. Well, let's, no proof.
Bitch, I'll go back and clip it
No,
right
don't
now.
clip it. Don't clip it. No, I was just kidding. Too late. I'm sorry. Sergeant McIntyre, how are you? How you doing? How you feeling? Now that I fixed everything, and I think you guys are calmed down.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I gotta shift that over. Why is that over? Like this side. I was very indecisive this morning. So I got a matcha with
Can I have one?
yeah. Which one do you want? This one's a matcha with Dubai chocolate. It was new and I wanted to try it, which
Absolutely
is why it's not that good. This is a refresher because I'm dehydrated. It's strawberry. And then this one's that vanilla blondie thing that I got.
Hey, how you
I'll
doing?
have that one.
You want that one? But that one's my
vanilla one.
favorite. I'm just kidding. I was honestly pretty fucking good right now.
It's fine, it's
but-
Starbucks. I won't enjoy it anyway.
Yeah, that's true. You don't know that. At least try it when you come over here. Maybe it tastes a little bit better.
We'll see. I doubt it.
No, what you're fine. It's funny because I'm vocal stimming and nobody knows what I'm hearing, but it's funny. Lady's ex-husband out of his house. Oh. So now we can actually legally live in our house. Hell yeah, big fucks. Let's go, Vix. He said, "My lady, my house. Back the fuck off. Respect. Respect." It's no more. It's no longer.
Disrespect, not respectfully.
Yeah, no, disrespectfully kick him out of the house and be like, "My woman, back the fuck off." Women like
Also,
that.
There was some swearing there, Ness.
Oh wait, no,
The time is
no!
not up yet.
You've got to be kidding me. These are gross. I don't wanna. It's like
It's okay. Wash it down with coffee.
that's gonna make the coffee taste bad. Disgusting.
You don't know that.
Oh, I know that. Not bad. Just woke up heating up some. Ooh, what are her leftovers? If it's pizza, just eat it cold. Yummy.
No.
No, you don't like leftover cold pizza?
Not cold. No, absolutely not.
Oh, dude, what do you think we're gonna do at Lockicon?
Heat up the fucking pizza.
Nah, fuck. I stopped myself. I stopped myself. It's stuck on the roof of my mouth.
It's fine. Just wash it down with coffee now.
Is that what dogs feel like with peanut butter? Yo, Nate, what it do, baby boo? Excuse me. Oh, good morning. Good morning. How are we, Billy? What to do with myself on this lazy Monday? Go for a walk. Enjoy the weather. It's nice outside. That's a lie. I'm just trying to imagine the fact that I'm in Texas again, and I'm not.
No, it's terrible outside.
Jukebox, hello. How are you? What do you mean it's terrible? Well, you are in Australia, isn't it? Your guys' winter right now? Drugs.
No. You're in winter right now.
Did anybody see that?
I
Why
saw
did-
something.
Why did that just pulse like that? Pause. Wait.
I didn't say it.
You went, Flash
You
Daddy
made
Jesse.
that dirty. Oh, you're right.
I did, but I was like, wait a minute, hold up. Dwarven Roses puff pastry. What is Dwarven Rose? What is that? With cream cheese on oregano,
Breeding?
pepperoni, salami, McIntyre's breakfast. Rolled up in a meaty cinnamon roll. Wait, that's a lot of flavors in one. So, it kind of sounds like a calzone.
Like a meaty cinnamon roll. You know what? Give me some of that.
I'd try it. Nanny
like
Kathy,
that.
hello. Good morning. How are we?
Hi, how are you?
In your Discord, I think. Oh, wait, that's what those were.
Did I just not look at photos?
I reacted to it with a drooly face, but I didn't know what it was.
Food?
Yeah. You know, I wanted to be really cool because I took home ec class and I wanted to cook my parents dinner once, and this is how cool I thought I was, and then realized that it wasn't that cool. I bought a muffin tray and I put ham in there, like a little cup of ham, and I put an egg in there and I sprinkled some seasoning on it, and I was like, "Here's dinner." And like, "This is it." And I was like, "Yeah, it sounded like a better idea in my head." Sorry. When we peeking? Well, I can't peek without Jesse. It's just not peek without Jesse. So there's that. When is everybody free? Ew, brother. There's like chocolate on the outside. I like the matcha part of it. I don't like the buy chocolate foam thing that they put in here. I'm off the next 3 days. I work during the weekdays. That's not good. How early do you wake up? Well, no, because the guys work too. I'm good. How about you? I'm good, Nanny Kathy. Excuse me. What have you been up to? How was your weekend? How's everybody's weekend? Hi, Reaper. Boom, boom, boom. My mouth is ready for that combination of food. It's a wild way to say it. It does look good. It reminds me of like pinwheels. Jace, do we know what we're cooking for the con? I didn't even think about that. 4 on, 4 off. That's a no. Got it.
Good, I've got the communication worked out.
Mm-hmm.
I lost the brain cell mid-sentence. Ignore me.
Well, I figured like a Italian style meal, depending on how many people go. So like, I don't know. How do you feel about spaghetti or something like that? Or mac and cheese?
It depends. I also need to know how many I'm cooking for.
Yeah, I know. I don't even know how many you're cooking for.
I know.
What'd you ask? I asked something. I don't know. Chicken nuggets in my spaghetti? Stop. No fucking way.
No.
See, I'm very picky about mac and cheese, and I'm very hesitant to be like, oh, make mac and cheese, because I like my mac and cheese real cheesy, and I don't like it baked. Can you stop it? You're knocking shit over. You don't get to be cute. You took an hour and a half before you came and said hello to me yesterday. I was gone all weekend. And you jumped into somebody else's bed to get butt pats. Fucking rude. I'm just kidding. Queen, hello. I guess it's like a chicken parm if you put nuggets in your spaghetti, but then you need cheese.
No.
Well, yeah, it's like a kid's version of a chicken parm.
No.
Want some coffee? No? Okay. You want some coffee? All right, I guess I can actually play the game, huh? Considering the fact that I was late. I figured I would talk to you guys first. You know what I'm saying? Jukebox. Grr. Jukebox, I'm good. How are you? How have you been? Queen, how was your weekend? How you feeling? I think both of you are actually already on the board, so I don't know how you guys did that. Yeah, both you and Jesse are on the board already. How did you guys redeem that? Your thingy for a resub.
What do you mean? Because the first one would have been last month's. That's catching up since you didn't stream last month.
Oh.
And then this one is this month's.
Oh. I knew that.
Sure you did.
What did I do? I don't know. It sounds like you muted. We're going to start there. But also, you're already on the board. And because you already resubbed when I was offline and you resubbed again, so I got confused, and then Jace explained it for my little smooth brain.
Brain.
Miniman, drop the beat. Well, no, it's still on there once. Okay. The game plan was Lies of P, but I can do something else. Jace, how have you been?
Alive?
And, I'm glad that you're alive. How's work been?
Debatable some days.
No, I'm glad every day that you're alive, first of all.
Works okay, I guess.
Who are you? Oh!
I am you.
You are me. He is we. No, the name was spelt different, so I didn't realize who it was. And then I actually clicked on the profile. I was like, oh, I know you. I know you. Because I was like, I also have Deep Rock, but I don't think you have Deep Rock. And then I was like, I have Minecraft Dungeons. Suffer with us is crazy. But valid. You get to suffer with us.
No.
Yes. Come to the dark side.
I've been there.
I don't think I'm ever going to finish this game. 1.5. The second Kingdom Hearts. I keep thinking about going back to it. But I am going to play through the Assassin's Creed series at some point here. And then when I do that, I'm going to get rid... Yeah, and then I'm going to get rid of my Game Pass for a little bit. What else was recently added to Game Pass?
Fuck if I know.
Star Wars. Dome Keeper. Why does that look like a... Toothless, that's the name I was looking for. Excuse me. Oh my god. Oh, he's back from outer space. Hi.
What?
Hi. Total Chaos. What's this? I don't know. Don't Ooh.
Sounds like life.
Fort Oasis. There's no paradise. It's decaying nightmare. Chatty, that sounds accurate. 91% naughty. You just try to make everybody think you're innocent. Let's go gambling. I have an urge to play Call of Duty again after going through my clips with when we used to play. I say we, I don't think Jace played, but ooh, what's this game? Terminal Brigade. It's a PvE looter shooter roguelike with elements of virtual multiverse. Interesting. It's got anime girls. We like that. Why do you hate yourself like that? Wait, for what? Well, that gives me Tiny Tina vibes. I don't like cloud gaming. I just want to install the game. Why can't I do that? Playing COD. It's only fun with friends. That's the only time I'll play it is with people. Jace, I need you to find out if you would like Minecraft Dungeons, because I actually like that game.
I'm the conductor of the poop train!
What'd you say? Sorry.
No.
But it's different. It's not Minecraft. It's... So you're gonna get it, right? Huh? I said, so you're gonna get it, right? I will definitely play. I like that Minecraft game. Closer to Diablo than Minecraft? Yeah. Well, you know what? That's not going to convince Jace at all. That's definitely not going to convince Jace. Jace plays Fortnite.
Sorry, what's not gonna convince me?
What did you say, Jace? I'm sorry.
I said, what's not gonna convince me?
Oh, the fact that it's more like Diablo than Minecraft.
Yeah, no.
And then I said you play Fortnite. He also plays like Phasmophobia,
Yeah.
but he's been tired of Phas. Because we used to play it all the time. Now Jace hate crimes me. Have we suggested chemical neutering or therapy? Oh, goodness golly gee. What'd you say? No, I'm playing Liza P. The P of Lies. Oh, I can't. How do I... Hold on. 1, 2, 3. I think you're fourth first. I don't know. I think there's one more left. I feel very strongly about Fork Knife. I'll be honest, because I know that this isn't going to bother Jace at all. I don't like Fortnite. However, if somebody asked me to play that was my friend, I'd be like, all right, I'll play. But expect nothing. And usually it's because we play customs and we're not actually playing through Fortnite. The only time that I've physically played through Fortnite as like a serious playthrough was when I was playing with Madi. She got on and she was like, oh, we should play Fortnite because that's all she plays. And I was like, I hate this, but I'm playing it. And then I uninstalled the game. And then after that, I had people ask to play and I was like, ugh, And they're like, well, we'll play customs for like, it was the Christmas event that was going on. And you can get like Snoop Dogg skins and stuff like that. And we ended up doing that. But it was like only a custom lobby with like friends. That was it. It wasn't like regular people. Nanny Kathy got the last first. I also don't know why I said it like that. I don't know what's happening to me. What's going on? Where's all my stuff? Did I die? Probably. That tracks. Oh, I think this is a boss in here, isn't it? He thinks that's how I died. Wait, didn't I cross this bridge? Wait, yeah, no. Go this way. Excuse me. Well, now I gotta figure out where my stuff is. Hello? Thanks. Yeah. I like that they edited the mobile app for mods, but they make it so you have to be in mod mode to do a lot of stuff, and I think that's dumb. I don't know where I died. That's a problemo. What the fuck? Oh. I thought that was in my game. I was like, what is happening right now? Surely it would have been this way, yeah? How far did I get before I died? I don't remember any of this. That's so fun. Oh, I do. It's the zombie land. Gimme. Nope, I did it again. That's exactly how I died the first time. It all came back. I remembered. I hate everything. Made a button for it because I was lazy and didn't want to type it out anymore. Wait, does that one also lead this way, or does that go somewhere else? Is there something else over here? Oprah! You know what I want to play? I gotta figure out how I can get it. But I want to play Donkey Kong 64. And I think I need to get an emulator, which I'm really against getting an emulator, but I think I'm going to have to figure out how to get it. Because I've been craving to play that game. And Switch hasn't put it on the Switch yet. For the old, like, you know how they have, like, you can play old 64 games? They haven't put it on there. I'm like, how would you not put it on there? If anything, fucking remaster it and put it on there, because it's a good game. Nope, still not on there. Hell yeah. You got some banana bread at work today, though? Hell yeah. Let's not go this way. I need to make it to that ladder, but I decay in there. That looks like a button. Can I actually get up there? Alright, alright. Let's go. Fast as fuck, boy. Climb. Hell yeah. Oh, wait, I forgot you guys are like real zombies.
Lizard.
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 Lizard. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? Big ass scary bitch is what that is. I see you hanging there, you little bitch. Ow. I don't want to go over there. She's scary. How can I get you? Man, I hate how close you have to be for that. That's stupid. Haha, you missed me. Oh, I thought you were gonna be harder to kill. Well, shit. How the fuck am I supposed to get that? I don't think it's this way. Don't want to test that. I think I need to go up to go down. Can I not get in here? Housekeeping? Housekeeping want me for pillow? Housekeeping want me jerk you off? What kind of hotel is this? Oh no. I need to fall down here because there's stuff over here. Okay, thanks. Ooh, that was close. Want some fuck, big boy? Ooh, don't fall off the edge. Don't follow the edge. He can. You don't. Alright, how do I get over there? Nope, nope. That is not the way. That is not the way. That is most definitely not the way. Oakley dokley. We're going up, up, up. It's our moment. You know, together we're glowing. That is what I played the entire time that I was on the plane. I was just like, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna watch this. Why? Because it just makes sense. And it's about the same time as my flight. The first time I watched Hamilton, that got me through my entire first flight. And I was like, dope. And then I couldn't get Disney Plus to work. And then I was like, well, shit. So then I just watched Cape Cod Bean Hummers twice in a row. And I was like, say less.
Sorry, you watched what?
Nope, nope. I was hoping nobody caught that.
You fucked that up so bad.
Mm-hmm. They were. I wasn't complaining either. I was like, hell yeah. Hi, baby. What are you doing? He's just laying there, so cute. Not actually watched it start to finish. I'll be honest, there's times where it puts me to sleep, but I do recommend it. Ooh. Oh no! By a fucking wheel. It gets talked about often. I didn't think I was gonna like it, and when I first started watching it, I will be honest, the way that their mouths moved and their mouths moved and it didn't look like it synced up with the words bothered me. But I was also watching it through like a Discord watch party, so that also didn't help. And then I rewatched it and I was like, you know, this is actually a really good movie. Hi, Bubbas. What are you doing? Excuse me. What are you doing? You've got to be kidding me. Where? Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no way that it's all the way up there. But, Bub, you can't lay here. All right. Well, I've lost to a cat. I don't have your kitty cam up. That's aimed at your bed that you don't lay in anymore. Just want you to know that. Come on. Come on, you're next. Let's go. Sit down. Hell yeah. Oh, nice. Hell yeah. Let's go. We don't give a fuck about no bitch. Don't give a fuck about. No, 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 no. I got really lucky with that one. Chocolate rain. Aw, poopy. I gotta climb down. Please don't kill me. Okay. Goop, 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 goop. Too easy. That's crazy. Alright, I really can't feel my hands anymore. Can you get off of me, please? I love you, I do, but you're making my fingies numb. Do you work tonight, Jace?
Nope.
Hell yeah. Well-deserved day off, I'd say.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start pulling overtime anyway, so I feel ya. Alright, Bubs, I love you, I do, but I need you to scooch your mooch. Thanks, Peanut. You can lay down right here. Look, I made all this room for you to fucking lay down, and you're not using this space. Hi, I'm Paul. Hi, Orin. How are you? How you doing? How you doing? Dee. I can do this. I can open now. No, 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 no. I like my cloth, my other claw where I can just get over here. I'm covered in goop. Good boy. That's a good boy. That's where you're supposed to lay. What in the fuck knuckle is this? There's a ladder there? Oh yeah, that's the one I climbed up. Goop, 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 goop. Feeling better than... Are you getting sick? Or is it just allergies? Haha, your goopy goop missed me. Sit down. You nasty ass. I don't like how small this is and how slow I have to walk. I don't trust it. Had to go to a funeral. No, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Get off the ladder. don't give a fuck about no. I wonder if I can show you guys without him moving. Oh, I don't know where my kitty cam is. This one? This one? No. Please hold. It's so zoomed in right now, it's not even funny. Hold on. Let me see if I can zoom it out real quick. Look at his little paws. Oh, he just tucked him away. Getting shy. Getting shy with your little toe beans. Hmm? Getting shy with your little toe beans. I haven't turned this on in forever. Thank you. Typically, I don't because he's usually not sitting in his tower anymore. So there's really no reason for me to. But now I have nowhere to. Hold on. I'm going to put it on the back of my stream deck and then just angle it. There you go. The one and only king himself. Here, I'll give you my hand to rest on. It's a... Oh, Jesus Christ. Right. Oh, no. Okay. 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 That was some bullshit. Just saying. Are you dead? Bitch, if I kill you, are you dead? Or are you just not breathing? Well, what's up there? Oh, well, it's saved, so... What is that? Oh, there's a doorway. I see it. I don't know if I have enough time to do this, but we're gonna try it. Meow. Oh, I don't want to go through this. I'm gonna die. Well, now I need to know what's the other way. Fuck. Oh, I can't even go in here. That's crazy. Fucking waste of time. Ooh. Now I know where I need to go. JD Mom, hello. How are you? How have you been? What's okay? Please hold a minute while I get you your message. Boo boo doo boo 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 doo boo. Oh, I'm gonna die if I do that. Hold on. Please hold. Okay, ready? Are you ready? Oi, Captain. Good, just got a lot of stuff going on IRL, right? Well, if you need anything, if there's anything we can do to help you, we are here. But I hope it passes easily and everything works out for you. But we are here. We've got you. Hey, look at Kitty. And all the hugs. Nanny Kathy hugs are the best. My mom is having surgery tomorrow. I wish her the best in surgery. You don't have to answer, but if you don't mind me asking, what is her surgery for? Damn it. Don't it. Today is a fresh start. Take a deep breath, trust yourself, and move forward one step at a time. You are capable more than you think, and every small effort counts. Stay kind to yourself, stay focused, and remember, you've got this. And also, I'm adding this on there because you're the one who redeemed it. We got this. Boop. Boop. Yeah. Hell yeah. Removing right kidney, tumors wrapped around it. Jesus. I will keep her in my thoughts. And I'm wishing the absolute speediest recovery. And that they can get it all, because I know that sometimes, you know, those things get tricky. I had your hair in my mouth. Your ear itchy? You're itchy? Oh, that's the spot right there. Right there. For those who can't see, I'm scratching my cat's ear. Has known about it for 19 years and didn't do anything. What? Can they do that? That whole thing confuses me. What the oh. It's malpractice because my mom is on state insurance. Yeah, but even if you're not on state insurance, why would you like not even tell the person? I guess I don't know. The whole situation's confusing to me. Like, why wouldn't you at least tell someone? Or did they, like, tell her, but, like, play it off as nothing type deal? But also, 19 years? Holy shit. While dashing, hit L to jump. What the fuck? That's a weird-ass combination, but okay. That was cool. Saw a spot and told my mom it was nothing to start with. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I know sometimes they don't know, but you figured at the very least you would like check type deal. But see, that makes me nervous. This is why I don't go to the doctors in the first place. You're just giving me every reason to keep doing what I've been doing and just not go to the doctors. I'm just gonna be honest. There's something scary in there. Could have tested. If I open this, is it gonna put me in there? What is what? Oh. I don't know that I want to go in there. There's something big in there. I technically should go to the doctors because my grandmother had breast cancer. So I should go to the doctors, and I get frequent cysts in my chest, for lack of a better term. So I should, but I just don't. Alright, this is probably going to be a boss battle. Something's going to come out of that door. Oh, Jesus. I'll be honest, I don't know if it's worth fighting you. No! You can't fit through this door, haha. What the fuck is that? Something that I don't make me yell at you. This turns to a pre-cancer. Take care of yourself. I know. I just, you know, doctors. If I get really concerned... Okay, so my problem also is... This is the problem that they don't teach you in school, and I think this is what really frustrates me, is they don't teach you what to actually properly look for, or like what it should feel like to be concerning. They just describe it. Like, they should get some type of replica type thing for females to actually... Well, and males, because males can get breast cancer too. But they should make something of the sorts so you can... You know what you're actually looking for, and you're not just going in hoping for the best type deal. Climb. No. Sorry, Jacques. Didn't mean to scare you. I scared myself for a second. Come here, big guy. Ow. Ow, 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 and now I'm dead. Yeah, but how is it like different? Like, I guess that's my other question is like, what's the actual difference type deal? I don't remember how to... Right, okay. You're just gonna out me like that, then Aunt Kath is crazy. Just financially, gotcha. I'll DM to Martin. Thank you, I appreciate that. I also don't know what questions to ask the doctor. So, like, if I have, like, a second party, like, when I went to go get my, surgery for my kidney stone removal, like, they asked questions that I wouldn't know the answer to. And, like, thank God my mom was there. Because I was like, I don't know. And, like, she would ask certain things, and I was like, I didn't know that you asked that. Like, I just assume that they know what they're supposed to be doing. My bad. Look, there's no more stuff down here. It's all clean. There's stairs, though, which I kind of want to go down, but I don't. To be fair, she is the reason why I went to the emergency room last time. Because I think... maybe Jace? I know Punisher, Vix, and a couple other people were like, you should probably go to the doctors. I was like, nah, it's okay. And then Nanny Kathy strolls along and was like, hey, you should go to the doctors. I'm like, fuck. I can't say no to Nanny Kathy. What'd you say?
What about me?
Remember when I was like, I'm pretty sure I have a UTI, but it like started affecting my kidneys?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if you had told me to also go to the doctor or...
I don't think I did.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Just saggy ass lady, sit down. Jesse! That's wild! Just straight on fucking welcome back piece. Without hesitation.
Gonna yell at you for that?
Fucking crazy. What he failed to mention is what happened? What he failed to mention is that I did sleep when I got home, which is why I was late to stream. So,
Yeah, how long?
I don't know. No! No! Long enough? I don't know, I got home at what, midnight? We played games for a couple hours and then I went to bed, so 3 to 8:30? 5.5 hours? How are you functioning? I think I did pretty good. And I wasn't super cranky either. That was a huge accomplishment because normally I'm a miserable cunt when I'm tired. But you want to know who did get sleep? he got sleep, which was really nice. You know, I make sure I'm the person that stays half asleep, half awake, so I can check and make sure that everybody's okay. And I get that from my mom. You know, I just gotta make sure people don't stop breathing in their sleep. It's a weird fear I have, okay?
Oh, damn.
Yeah, LockyCon's gonna be great. I'm gonna like walk through the house just to not. Yeah, I'm not gonna open doors, but like if you know people are sleeping on the couch and stuff, I'm just gonna like make sure that they're okay. But I'm also going in the pool late at night. I'm just letting everyone know that now. Mind your business. You're never Aww. To be fair, I do try to avoid you guys seeing that side of me because it's not a side that I'm like proud that exists. No! No! God damn it. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way. Fuck this game, man. You never need to be within... Oh, to hear you sleep according to my partner, I go dead silent, like breathing, check quiet. Oh, no. Oh, no. I see, normally oh, fuck. Normally I'm around, like... I grew up with family that, like, snores really, really bad. And, like... When they stop snoring is when I get concerned and I'm like, oh no, they're not breathing anymore. So like if you're someone who snores even just a little bit and I notice that you go quiet, I like watch for your chest to rise and I'm like, if I can't see it, I'll put my hand on your chest. And if I don't feel it, I'm just like, if I move, I know that they'll move if they're awake. So that's what I'll do.
Hi, I'm Paul.
Hi, No Shot. How are you? How you doing? How you feeling? How's stream been, by the way? I was gonna pop in, but I'll be honest, I was not home this weekend. Good morning. Need to get tested. Glitter. Hi, Punisher. Good morning. By the VA and hopefully get rating from them for disability. Do you get any disability right now? So it's been going really well. Hell yeah. Well, consistency. Don't be me and be late to stream. We're just gonna climb up here. I know it's very difficult to get full disability. I know they're very like anal about giving that out, but you got this. Nanny Cat, no. I meant to say Bree, but I looked at Nanny Kathy's name. Sorry. Hi, Bree. How are you? How you doing? How's partner been treating you? How have you been feeling? That's most importantly. Oh, you dumb bitch. I'll be honest, this game is pissing me off. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's gonna be fine. Fighting some stupid head cold. Please make sure you take care of yourself, Miss Ma'am. And you do not need to apologize. I keep seeing your Discord messages and you're like, I'm really sorry. But we're like, no, take care of yourself. Please always take care of yourself. I blew on my knee and screwed up my back. Boy, they can't deny those. Those are documented. I know, but they still make you fight fucking tooth and nail for it. So I'm just, you know. I don't understand how I didn't have an issue fighting you the first time, and then I go back the second time, and it's a fucking pain in the ass. This is like my 5th time, but that's not the point. Took me 3. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. And that's not military based. Like, they make it fucking difficult as fuck. Which I get it, because people do abuse the system. You know, if there's one thing that I can't stand is people who aren't even trying, and they expect to get, like, tooth and nail. Oh, God damn it, I'm gonna die again. Yep, there it goes. But then there's people who actually need it, you guys, and can't get it. Thanks. The one thing that I don't think that I would ever argue is talking assistance based, you know, for everything on the table. I don't think I would ever be upset for someone getting food stamps to feed their family. I would never get upset about that. It's the people who don't even try to get a job that, like, they're literally not putting in the effort to attempt to get the job. That's what bothers me. They're like, oh, I'll just get, you know, unemployment. I'm like, you do realize that you have to prove that you tried to apply places and couldn't, like, and then they get mad about that. And I'm like, honestly, I'm okay with that because, like, why should you get free shit? Just work. But that's also just, I grew up with, respectfully, I love my dad, but he is a workaholic. Or was a workaholic. And so I kind of understand nothing but work. Which is why it was hard for me to, like, I'm hard on myself when I either cancel stream or don't, because not that this is work to me. I do enjoy doing this, but I treat it as I treat my job because I do care about my job. As much as I don't want to admit that. But I have been, you know, caring more about me than I have in the past. So there's that. You follow through a commitment? I try to. I might struggle through it, but I try to. Honey, you can't lay there. I love you, but you can't. I love you. Killer Cool, hello. How you doing? How you feeling? Healthcare was free and affordable. Well, even for, like... Oh. Oh. Uh-oh. What happened? What the fuck just happened? Baby, I love you. Stop.
Oh, spaghetti.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. Amanda Chin, I am so sad.
You mean my cat? Hey, Shaunis, how are you? Issue with unemployment benefits and yeah. So even I will fully read that. Hold on. But also, like, where it's free, they also end up having their own issues because I know, like, Tosh was talking about somewhere that she needed to go, and she, like, the wait list is, like, insane just to, like, refill a prescription too. And I'm like, that's crazy. If you need assistance and aren't trying to cheat the system, I get that, but people who cheat the system really piss me off. And then disability denied her assistance because my dad worked a lot and I was eating saltines for dinner. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's the same. So Punisher, what also bothers me, and not to just put this in the aspect of, like, that, but also in the aspect of, like, schooling. When I had to apply for financial aid, I had to give my parents' income. My parents didn't help me with shit for college. Nothing. I didn't get a cent from them. I did it all on my own. So why am I including theirs, especially when I'm moving out of their house? I moved cities. My parents had nothing to do with me going to college because my sisters ruined that for me. My parents co-signed on loans for my sisters. They didn't pay them back, or, like, some other shit happened. And so I was, being the baby, didn't get any help. I had to seek help from the government. So why am I counting my parents' income when they're not helping me with anything? Even if I ask them, hey, can you help me with these payments? The answer is no. I put myself in that mess. So, like, that's not fair to me. But luckily they weren't making, like, enough to extremely alter my financial aid at the time. So. But like even stuff like that, like I just don't understand. Their stuff shouldn't affect my stuff. And I guess that's what bothers me. Wait until you're 25 and go to college, they don't matter financial aid? What, you can't get financial aid after you're 25? Is that what you're saying? Issue with unemployment benefits in the UK is that a bunch of annual income base, which unless I lose my job for the first 2 months of the tax year, I don't get shit. That's wild. No, I'm gonna die again. Fuck. After you're 25? Oh, okay. Honestly, a part of me wishes that I continued my... Thank you. You're supposed to be working. A part of me wishes that I stayed to get my bachelor's because I was going for my bachelor's degree. But my teacher kind of ruined that for me. And I kind of wish I stayed in the field that I was going to because I think I could have actually made a difference. But the thought of going back to school just... I don't want to do it because I think the system is a scam. Excuse me, and they just want money. And going in with that mentality, I'm not going to want to do the work that I know that I need to do. So, see. My accomplishment is that I was the first one in my family to get my degree. And you know what? Just because it's an associate's, that doesn't matter. I did the work. I actually did the work for that. And I'm the one thing I was proud of, you know? And then ironically after that, all of a sudden, my mom and my sister also got their degree. And I was like, you know what? I'm proud of you guys. Doesn't matter how long it took you. You did it. Thanks. It's collecting dust on my back wall. Bree, when are we gonna play golf with friends? In psych? Ooh. Psychology was my favorite. I was gonna go for social work, which I know is not a very high-paying job. I wasn't going into it for the job. I was going into it to make a difference because I wanted to. So this was my crazy idea. I wanted to find new ways to stop the revolving door of people going into prison that were like starting in juvie. I wanted to stop that trend or find ways to like help those kids and make a difference in their life. But then they're like, this is literally what did it for me. They're like, you need to take a math class. It's mandatory. And I was like, ooh, I don't know about that one. So I completely switched like majors because I was going for policing, and then I switched to corrections, which you can still technically, you know, follow in that cycle. And so I did that, and then I was like, I can still do something with this, you know, either I can work in the correction facility and I can make a difference there potentially, or in the juvie centers or detention centers or whatever they are, and, you know, potentially change the course of someone's life for the better, or, you know, I can get into the actual like other side where you like go and check on people and you know, do those type of things. And so I was like, okay, I have a plan here. You know, it's not the veterinarian thing that I wanted when I was in 4th grade, but you know, it's a plan. And so I started going for my bachelor's, and my teacher basically said, if you do not have 24 hours access to a computer and you cannot do this, you know, you can't take a good chunk, like a work hours day, to do schoolwork, you're not going to pass this class. And I was like, well, I guess I'm not going to pass the class because I work at Wegmans and we don't have access to a computer. And what you're asking me to do, I don't have time to do. So, and I tried to push through it. And then I was like, well, I'm clearly failing this. So I'm just going to flunk out of my bachelor's degree. It's fine. And so, you know, here we are. I did, one of the requirements for class was that you had to do volunteer work, and I volunteered at a drug rehab facility, the government aspect of it. I didn't actually go to like a facility, but it's the place where you have to go into like check in constantly or get drug tests and stuff. And I think what broke my heart was, hold on, I'm just gonna pause this. I say pause it, there's not a fucking pause button. I think what broke my heart was that I was just doing filing for them. Like I couldn't actually like do much, but I was able to like file paperwork and, you know, call people for check-ins and stuff like that. They would have people come in. They would get checked and they would do their drug test or their P test or whatever. And the second that they left, they started talking shit about them. Like, you're supposed to be encouraging these people, and the second that they walk out the door, they're like, oh, I know that they're just going to fall off the wagon again. And, like, it doesn't matter if you think that they're going to do that. Show some, like, faith, have some encouragement, because they can tell that you're being fake about it when they see you. And I'm like, you're supposed to be there to help them, not beat them down, whether it's to their face or behind their back. Like, people know. So, I don't know. It's disheartening, and it makes me not want to. I know that I could be the difference in that situation. But that was everybody in that office. Not one person stood up for them. And I'm like, I don't want to be a part of that. And then I was like, well, maybe it's just this office. And then, you know, I was talking to other people and like they would do the same thing. And I'm like, I understand that you see this day in and day out where people fall off the bandwagon or they have to restart. But like they're trying and they're also fighting an addiction. So like, I feel like you should be more encouraging than that and not like beat them down like, oh, you're never going to be able to do this. Fucking wild to me, but you know. I've been in college twice, and I have 30 credits towards a degree. Never finished the first time, but just an idiot the second time I tried for computer stuff, and I couldn't keep up in class. Computer stuff's not easy, though. That's just not... I know you can do it, but you have to, you know, want to do it. That's the whole other aspect of it. So you also have to want it, and it's very easy to want something and then not want it anymore, especially when it comes to college stuff. I'll be 100% honest with you. But if you ever decide to go back, you know, you've got a plethora of resources, which is great now because that wasn't, you know, available before. I hate professors like 100%. Also, hi, monkey. You like that? I like seeing who comes in, who knows, or who sees the go live notifications because I try to make them funny sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. Harley, hello. How are you? How you doing? Might fire up the smoker. Ooh. Surprisingly, it's not snowing, but it was snowy. But how are you doing? How you feeling? How have you been? It is bedtime. Or is bedtime? Okay, night, Jace. Appreciate you. Hope you have a good CPC. I'm great at mechanical and physical labor. Won't pay for that because of my disability. We probably shouldn't be doing physical labor. You gotta take care of yourself. People stay in patterns and won't break them because they aren't getting help and they wanna... True. That's also fair. They also have to want to break those patterns. But knowing that they actually have like a support system that believes in them also goes a long way too. Because if they go into those offices and they know that those people are just doing that for a job, which a lot of those are government contracted, so like their job's not guaranteed either. I feel like it makes a difference. And oh, hi.
Hi.
You wait for Jace to leave and then you come in here. It's crazy.
I'm the conductor
No,
of the
it's bad
poop
timing,
train.
Ika, hello. How are you? How have you been? But like, I don't know. There's a lot in the system that I would like to change, and I realistically know that I'm just one person, and I know maybe I can start because I'm trying to do that at my job right now. Is I'm trying to change things for the better, or at least test things for the better, which I know is a trial and error thing. And like, not everyone's gonna like what you do, but I'm at least trying. So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, my boss might get fired. So.
Oh, shit.
I might be able to actually. Oh, he's in such deep shit. But I actually might change things. Maybe. I'm just trying to get the kid that I work with on mornings because he deserves it, and he was lied to like me. He at least deserves to see his brand new wife all the time.
True.
And then I'll quit that place when I start my new job.
Bree, that means a lot to me. I appreciate you. Should be building shit right now, but I'm on the couch in food coma. What kind of food put you in food coma first? But also, what are you supposed to be building?
Yeah.
But I'm pretty good. I'm not too bad. I got back from Texas. Was visiting the mans. Feeling good. I'm back in the cold weather, and I hate it.
Have fun. At least it didn't snow.
Oh, it snowed when I was leaving. I went in like a full blown. I was like trying to hold it together the best I could, and I was like panicking the entire time that we were getting ready. Actually, you know what's really funny? The smoothest landing that I've ever had was in Texas. The landing in DCA was like a little bit rough. Obviously here because the snow, it wasn't like the smoothest landing, and like Texas, it was like the smoothest touchdown. I was like, what do you guys put on your roads? Can we have that where we are?
You know what they put on their roads?
Not salt. Not potholes. No, they have
Not
potholes.
potholes.
They have potholes. They got a lot of bumps. That's what it is. It's not a lot of potholes. They do have some of those. It's called desert. Is crazy. They have some potholes, but mostly it's bumps. There's random bumps. They're upward bumps. They're not like inward bumps. They're the opposite of ours. And they have no like curbs, so you're like riding on top of the fucking curb.
Mm-hmm.
Like gutters, that's what I meant. They don't have like the little gutters in between the street and the curb. Roads have pimples. Exactly. 36 inches of snow in 18 hours. Ooh. Disgusting. No rain, no snow. That's not true. You get snow. I meant you get rain. Sorry.
All
We
my
don't
friends
even-
back home in PA are so mad because that storm that was supposed to hit us basically stayed there.
So when you pop a road pimple, you get a pothole. Is actually, that's pretty accurate.
Mhm.
I missed somebody's comment. I keep going back up to read it, and then I keep getting distracted. Oh, Brie, I'm gonna be honest. I tried to find a layover that was in your city or your state. I don't know your city, but I was trying to find one in your state, but I couldn't find one. You know, I have 84% battery. Building electric longboard meant, well, being drunk from scrap. Well, definitely sober up before we do that. 5 stream streak, let's go. Hi. I'm going to be honest. I heard you say something and I thought you said I'll call you back. And then I was like, oh, okay. And then you text me and I was like, oh, maybe he didn't say that. I'm streaking. 5 stream streaks, not bad. That one's one of the easier ones to say. When you start getting a lot of S's in it, it's harder. You'll think you'll go to TwitchCon this year. So I'm probably not going to go to TwitchCon this year because I have Colossal Con that I'm trying to go to, and then I also have LockyCon. LockyCon's the one that I'm definitely going to have to save for because that's 2K. And then Colossal Con's like 700 total, give or take, roughly, including like a bunch of couple extra expensive. That's just a rough estimate. It's between 500 and 700. I don't remember the number, but I'm just in other leeway money just in case. But I have those two things that I want to go to. The next time that I go to TwitchCon, I want to be partner. I know that's an unrealistic goal, but we will figure it out. I want to meet you. Well, if probably 2027, maybe. I don't want to make any promises because I also want to go to Japan in 2027. So I didn't mean it like that. I just mean like I need to really bunker down and like focus, you know? It'll happen when it happens. I'm not pushing it. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to like talk bad on myself. I just, you know, it'll happen when it happens. But I can also always plan a trip to come see you too. You're only a couple states over, literally. So I can also just be like, I'm going to drive over real quick. I say real quick. It's more like 6 to 8 hours. Maybe 16. Exactly. So that's the mind frame that I'm kind of in. And I don't want to have to grind for it in the aspect of like I'm neglecting myself for it either. So I'm trying to find that balance type deal. But we could always, yeah, see, and we can do that too. You demand meet you both, whatever you're more comfortable with. I did meet Tazzy. We didn't take a picture. That was both of our faults. I remembered as we were going our separate ways and we were in the cars, and I was like, we didn't take a picture. And then she texted me and she goes, we didn't take a picture. And I was like, we didn't. Sorry. But yeah, I got to meet Tazzy, Husby, and that was good. We went to Shake Shack. We had some yummy food. Bitch is tall. Bitch is fucking tall. I want to meet Nessie too, but it won't ever happen living on the other side of the pond. No, that's not true. I do want to do a lot of traveling. I didn't get to do a lot of traveling in my 20s, so, you know, I would like to get as much traveling as I can. And you know, luckily I'm with someone who also likes to travel, so you know, you never know. You never know. Hey, Kendrick, how are you? I'm good. I'm doing good. Just taking a break from the game because I keep dying and it's low-key kind of pissing me off. So. Oh, Punisher. Yep, I forgot what I was going to ask you. This is really fun to play with. It's the thing that they put on the mouthpiece that you're supposed to cover your drink with. And it's sticky. I was on my wood show when I met her and she seemed tall, but didn't realize she was tall. Brie, how tall are you? I feel like you're tall. I think she's 5'7". I asked her and I think she's 5'7" or 5'6". 5'5". Yeah, so you're both tall. Tyler was also tall. I felt like a little short pipsqueak standing with all of them. Because Jesse's tall, Husby's tall, Tazzy's tall, and then there's me. What'd you say? Oh my God. Okay, so we went to emo night, and we were waiting. First of all, Jesse's sister's also tall. Let's just start there. So I'm standing with Jesse and his sister, and we're waiting for Jesse's friends to come. And lo and behold, two giant ass fucking 6'2" looking people come over, and I'm just like, I'm an ant to these people. That's what it felt like. They were like stupid tall. Like, Punisher, how tall are you? I don't think he's near his desk. They were taller than Punisher. They were like my dad's height. And I can't remember how tall I told you my dad was, but he was like their height, maybe a little bit taller. Like, to the point where he had to like bend down to talk to me, and I was like, I hate this so much. I hate this. But they were very nice. They were very sweet. Emo night's also really fun, and I found out that we have one near our neck of the woods, which is cool. Being tall. Nope, that's not what you said at all. That is not what you said at all. You said being tall doesn't seem fun. Yeah. Give or take, yeah. 6'1" for Punisher. That's my guess on memory. We'll see if I'm right. I want to say he was like 5'9", 6'1". I think you're right. I think maybe 6'1". But I don't know where he went. 6'2". Oh, okay. Excuse me. 55 is not tall. You mean 5'5"? 5'5" is tall to me, okay? My 5'1" ass. I had to make a phone call. Oh, okay. You were really close, though. 1,700 miles one way, 2,000 miles home. Wait, how is it 2,000 miles home, but 1,700 one way? Math's not mathin'. Make it make sense. Everything less than 15 hours is no issue, but having your car blow up, no. Don't know who needs to. Oh, Chatty Boy has a message for everybody. I don't know who needs to hear this, but take a moment to appreciate yourself. You have come far, and even if it doesn't always feel like it, every challenge you have faced, every lesson you have learned, and every step you have taken matters. Even the small victories are worth celebrating. You are growing in ways you did not see yet. Be proud of yourself and give yourself the credit you deserve. What he said. Times 2. Times 2. They had to pick me up 300 miles shy of Sturgis. The road the entire way home. So you went a little bit further and then had to get picked up? I don't know. That hurts my brain. Oh, okay. Never mind. It was explained to me. It just took me a minute. I was like, there's context that I'm missing here. I was watching a live stream mainly because of what happened yesterday. Well, Kendrick, I hope everything's all right. You know, if you ever need, we are always here if you need to chit chat, if you need to vent. That's what the mental health channel is for. It's not just for resources, but it's for you guys to get out whatever you need to get out. And if you literally just need to vent, just say that. If you need some advice, feel free to ask for that. But I hope things get better, and I hope today is a much better day for you. I knew I'm missing stuff. That's why I'm going back up, and I'm taking a minute. Other news, I might be able to go to LockyCon because I have less responsibilities now, and I accept no bills except for my phone. Hell yeah. Beast, if you can make it, that'd be amazing. If you cannot, please do not stress yourself. You know, I want to make that very clear. I do not want anyone putting themselves in a pickle just to make it to this con. I tried to find a generalized location that was, like, easy to get to. Wasn't too close to, like, dox myself, respectfully. Not that I don't think I couldn't trust any of you, but respectfully, I don't want to give out my location. So I just, you know, the center of the states seemed like a good idea. Warm weather seemed like a good idea. But again, if you can make it, great. If you cannot, please, nobody put yourself in debt to try to make it to this. It's literally just to make sure, you know, TwitchCon's stupid expensive. I wanted a cheaper option for everybody. I think we would have a lot of fun doing stuff together. And I'm trying to find stuff in the area to also do if anyone wants to do it. But as of right now, it's my thanks to you guys, which is why I'm not asking for you guys to fund it at all. I'm going to fund it. The only thing I'm asking is that you pay basically an entrance fee, but only for the sole purpose of that helps cover food. And that's literally it. And it's not much, and it's negotiable if people can't afford the $50. I get it. So think of it as a security deposit, I guess, without getting it in return. You're getting it returned in food. But and what I was facing, so less cost too. Gotcha. Yeah, if I could realistically get a giant car and take everybody, I would. But I can't. I was like, maybe I should just get a little, what are those? It's a limo, but it's like a truck. It's like the van limo things. That would be cool. Time to buy a bus. Yeah, okay. Right. I'm not driving that shit. Fuck that. But Brie, also, if you wanted to go to that, you are more than welcome. As well. Everyone is welcome. Everyone is, you, the mans, is also welcome. I'll drive the bus. See when and where. I will send it to you on Discord. It's going to be in Texas, and it's going to be in October, and I can confirm that it does not conflict with TwitchCon because TwitchCon is going to be a week prior to Thanksgiving, I believe. They really fucked up this year. So, and I was like, you know what? It works for me because that means that the people who were like, oh, I can't go because I think it's going to be the weekend of TwitchCon can now go if they want. But I also do understand that TwitchCon is expensive. That's like at least $2,000, $2,500, give around there. So I want my squat redeem back. Oh, well, that sucks. Maybe you shouldn't have talked shit when I followed your wife. Who, to be fair, I was already following her, but I've been going through and like removing. I'm trying to start from scratch from like my list. Because a lot of people that are on my list are people that I just followed because I was like, somebody rated out and I just clicked the follow button.
Another one.
Do I get Locky in my cereal box? Yes. There's a small little Locky charm at the bottom. But hi, Spartan. Thank you so much for the biddy. I appreciate you. I always talk shit. What else is new? Yeah, but when it comes to your wife and I was supporting and you were talking shit, fight me. She messaged me and she goes, I was told to tell you. And I was like, you know what? Respect. I respect the fact that you told me. But now Bronco's going to get punishment. He's never getting his squat redeem back. Get shit on. But yeah, so. But no, I was previously following her, but I think either Twitch unfollowed her or when I was doing my unfollowing, I accidentally might have unfollowed her. I don't remember. I'm gonna talk shit. Do it. Do it. You's a bitch. Smells like bitch. Hide your wife. Nessie's gonna steal it from you. I'm not stealing anybody's wife. I'm not stealing anybody's wife because I would cut a bitch if they try to steal my man. I'm just saying. I'm just putting that out there right now. Right now. Driving in an Australia road, train to fit everyone. I will not be driving when I go to Australia. I'll tell you that much. You were following her. I went through her followers. Oh, see? I was on it before. Get fucked. See? You were giving me shit for no reason. Oh, wait. Let me...
Damn it, monster! Get off my lawn! I ain't giving you no 350. It said, how about just 250? I said,
how about
oh,
250?
No, it's only
350.
250. What is it? I said, I ain't giving
Told
you
you,
no
I have no shame.
350, you
I will let the
goddamn
people
Loch Ness
know.
Monster. Get your own goddamn money.
And if you don't know, now you know. Absolutely, Bree. Take care of yourself. I adore you. I love you. I will send you that thing right now because I will forget if I don't do it right now. It's Bree. Oh, no, that's okay. Nah. But thank you. Appreciate you. Use a snack. Can we get a bunch of your favorite fun dancey emotes in chat if you think that Axios is a snack? The answer is yes, so you should just put your favorite emotes in chat anyway. I won't be mad, I promise. Absolutely. Abso-frickin-lutely. That's not my favorite emote, but it's the only one that I can click really quickly. Ah, see? Ha! Get fucked. October. You guys just eat all the mods. Just kidding. Where did I put this? How do I not even know? Well, that's crazy. Getting to you. Can you check your temperature when you go home? Pasting. Okay. Ugh. Hiya. Okay. I guess I can get back into the game. If you need anything, let me know. If you need soup, I'll get you soup. And I mean soup, not... Oh, wow, Bronco, you really got all your emotes. He said, say less. And I mean soup. I don't mean your cup of noodle soup. That's not soup. I think it's cute that you call it soup, but I mean like chicken noodle soup. You know, stuff that's actually chicken broth and good for you. You don't think what? Why, well... To be fair, homemade chicken noodle soup is probably the better one for you. I don't know if you see my last message. I think I read it, but I got distracted. Hold on, give me a second. Un momento. Just missing a small chunk of my knuckle on my thumb, but everything is good. My dad... Everything is good. My dad, that's medically retired medic, told me what to do. I'm sorry. How did you... Okay, there it is. There's the answer. Clean up because I had a rusty steel metal hit my thumb and... Owie. 3 stream streak, do squats. Absolutely not. Absolutely not, Bronco. It has been revoked. I told your woman that. She didn't have any denial or fight against it, so... Hi, Tommy. How are you? How have you been? How's my Scotsman doing? I'm gonna do this so I don't lose that. I don't want to gain this again. I mean, thank you for the... I was gonna say thank you for the beast lurk. I'm fucking a genius. Thank you for the lurk, beast. Ika, I appreciate you. Thank you for the lurk. Go get that stuff done. Take your time. Make sure you guys all stay hydrated. I appreciate the heavens on you. Thank you for stopping in. AJ, hello. How are you? How was your weekend? Happy Monday. 9 days till Motionless and White drops a new song. I didn't even know they're still making music, to be honest. Tommy, I'm good. I'm good. How are you? How was your weekend? What did you do? Throw me in the basement. Give me snacks. I do want snacks. Snacks are good. Just woke up. How was your sleepy sleep? About to drive from southern Maine to Louisiana for my birthday next month. Why Louisiana? What's in Louisiana? But also happy birthday in case I forget. Wait, wait, hold on. Wait. Look. Arlie, I know you're in here. I just have to find you. Oh, look, you're right there. I already wrote it down. February 26th. See? The book. The book is candy. Unless you tell me on the day or it's posted in Discord, I will forget. I'm just letting you know that now. Just so y'all aware. He was good. He was good. Apple? No, thank you. He's good. Okay. So he's a friend for 4 years. Wow, you just doxed his entire government. That's crazy. Let me go on Facebook real quick. I'll find him. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I hope you enjoy your time with your friend. Be safe. Make good decisions or whatever adults say to people. I don't know. 2.5 years until I come see yous. I think you'll really enjoy the States for a short period of time. Don't die. I probably will, Chatty. 100%. Oh, shit. I switched my weapon on accident. Oh, no. Outlaw, hello. How are you? Decisions, not necessarily all good. But we make good decisions. We can go for lunch or dinner. I'd be alright with that. You can meet Punisher, too. And you can meet Boo Man. Randy. Rescue Randy. We can do a giant outing. Been a while, how you doing? I'm pretty good, how are you? How are you? Got to spend the weekend, an impromptu weekend with the man, so that was fun. I got to meet a bunch of tall people. That was scary, but fun. It wasn't scary. They were just really tall. I don't know why I figured everyone was going to be like in like the 5-foot range. So when really tall people came, I was like, oh God. And they were like equally the same height. So I was like, I was trying to squeeze in the Twin Towers joke, but it just felt wrong. Never mind. Minus the damn snow. Yeah. When I left, it was snowing really bad. Kind of went into a little bit of a panic, but then it was warm again. And I was like, wow, this is what warmth feels like. It's nice. Ow, that bitch. I'm getting CP. I know. That's valid. Where's Randy these days? He's working, living his best life with his lady. Honestly, I respect him a lot for taking, you know, he's been doing really good in the aspect of, you know, he's been focusing on himself and his lady, and I can respect that. All right, I made it back. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Oh no. Howie. And just like that, I'm low on health again. Fuck. Nowadays, he's got a girlfriend. No, yeah, so he's had a girlfriend for, I think, over a year. I don't know how long they've been together, but since he stopped streaming, they've been together, basically. But yeah. And he's happy. She's really nice. She's very sweet. We like her. She's good for him. Excuse me. You know, I've known Randy for a long time, and I'm glad that he's finally... Oh, fuck. I don't know how I did that. But that could have been bad. I could have died. Yeah. But yeah, well, I'll have to get together when you come down. Damn it. Come down or come over. I don't know which one would be the more accurate one to say. Despite just being cold here, I'm looking to get a beard. Ooh. You know, you should get a lizard because they have lizards that look like little baby dragons and they're cute. And I can't have one, and so you should get one. Sounds like a good plan? Hell yeah. I think it'd be fun. That's assuming I don't move. You know, moving's in the potential future here, so just make sure you ask before you fucking plan it. I have a question. But it's something that my dad always said. Do chicks actually dig scars? I think it just depends on the person. I mean, there's nothing wrong with scars. I think they tell a story. And, you know, I personally... I wouldn't hold it against someone. I think it adds an interesting aspect to them. You know? But I don't... If you asked me when I was younger, I probably would have said yes, but I'm not much of like a physical person. I'm more on the inside. Pickle. Fun fact about me is my scars are on my pickle. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But how are you, Pickle? How have you been? I'm gonna be honest. I thought I was seeing shit for a second. I was like, there's no way that's... There's no way. Somebody hacked his account. 100% hacked his account. Wild. To be fair, that's also a cheesy puff version of you, not a pickle version of you, so... Lying to the people. It's wild. Wild thing to do. No, Kendrick, so he's... His VTuber's a pickle, basically, is what it is. He's a little pickle figure, not...
I'm here for
It's
your
2026.
pickle.
Whatever I want. Wow, you came back for pickle? That's crazy.
It just had to happen that way.
Lies.
This is me doing my job off the clock, sort of.
You know they legally should be paying you extra for that?
Oh, I'm gonna tell HR this week when I see him. Be like, yeah,
My man.
not really doing my job off the clock. The one girl I'm friends with at work, she asked me for help instead of calling morning shift because they suck at their job.
Oh, well, don't get her in trouble.
Nah, she's fine.
Okay.
Plus, the other thing is no one in the office has real driving experience except for 2 of the supervisors.
Gotcha.
And
Redbeard and Dragon, so it came up. And I'm gonna name him Charizard. That's cute. That's cute. Pickle, how's the new place? You're all moved, settled? I know we pulled you into VC for like a short period of time because Punisher was like, you know, how's Pickle been? I haven't seen Pickle in a while. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I occasionally pop a message and I'm like, hey, hope you're doing all right. Or like, I still have to put all of our videos together for YouTube. They're literally sitting in a folder labeled Pickle. I just haven't because I know it's going to take a long time because I have to censor out some of the wild ass shit that you say sometimes.
nah, you leave that in. That's
No,
makes
because
it
we
fun.
played a game. I can't remember what we played. It was the game where We Are Here or something like that. And he named the fucking lobby Sex Dungeon. I can't put that on YouTube.
But it's in a video game.
I don't think that makes it okay. Yeah, see? Speechless. You ain't got shit to say. Give me one good reason. I don't have a good reason. Although I think Cheese, I think her man, you, me, and I can't remember. I think it was just us. We need to play that cooking game again. But all y'all dropped off the face of the
chassis
earth.
one?
The cooked?
Is it plate up?
No.
Overcooked?
Overcooked? I thought it was overcooked.
Pretty sure it's overcooked.
According to my dad, when I was 3 or 4, I had a lizard named Godzilla, so why not keep it going? Might as well. Overcooked 2. Yeah, Overcooked 2. Okay. I went through the videos.
2.
This is when I was like, oh, I kind of want to play COD again, because I went through the videos and all I heard was meat, bun meat. I started laughing again. I was like, I remember this. Did Cheese die as well? Basically, although she did stream a couple times and I popped in on her stream, but she basically fell off the face of the earth. She moved. Then I don't know if she moved again to live with her mans, but she, you know, she's doing her. I do see her stream every once in a while. I wait until I see Lurkbait pop up and I'm like, oh, she's gonna stream. Let me pop over there. No reason to go on without me, I see. It's a 4-player game. What do you mean? Jesus lost without you. Let's just be honest. I wonder if I can just run and open this. No, I cannot. Okay, so I have to fight you. I don't want to. I really don't want to.
You know, I'm watching a video on Instagram. And
Please
now I
don't.
understand why some of the people in our generation are the way they are.
Hold on, I gotta turn you up.
I'm just
But I'm also trying not to die. Okay, come again?
I'm watching a video, and I completely understand why a lot of us have brain damage and stuff, because it's just a video from the 2000s of kids backyard wrestling.
Ow. Oh, I'm gonna die.
It's
Oh, I'm gonna die.
so bad. Oh, that hurt.
Is this cheating? This feels like cheating.
Nah, you're good. Just because he's too big for the door doesn't mean anything.
No! Oh! Fuck! God damn it! You piece of shit! I mean, ads gotta go, but I'll stop by more from now on. Oh, okay. Bye, Pickle. I know you can't see it, but bye, Pickle. I don't want to climb all the way up there again. Oops. I wonder if he's gonna start streaming again.
Maybe. Or he'll mysteriously just leave us in the dark like always.
Probably.
Because he's a mysterious pickle.
I remember calling him out because every time that he would play, he would play with his beer caps, and like he had like usually at least 2 or a couple that he would play with, and I was like, can you stop playing with your dog tags, please? Because I can hear that. And he's like, you can hear that? I was like, yeah. What was the point of having that if it didn't even fucking work? Now I have to go back in there. I don't even know if I need to be over there. Pretty sure I'm just doing all this for no reason. Tired of losing health trying to get over to this fucking big ass boss. Come on. Come on. Come on, you can do it. I can mute your comms real quick, but or you don't have to answer this out loud, or you can just text me, or you don't have to answer it at all. What are we still friendly with the California chick, or what's going on with that?
Oh yeah, we're still cool. We're just kind of friends. That's really it.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Nope.
cool with that.
Okay. I wasn't sure if we were still friends with benefits or what was going on there. I was just being nosy.
No, yeah. I don't know. She hasn't come over in a while, but she's also been getting better runs at work, so she sleeps in the truck.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. She's still thinking about moving back to CA. Can I see your new kitchen sink, Nanny Kathy? You can send it to me on Messenger.
Yes, send us the adult things.
You know you're getting adulty when you're excited to see a sink.
Right? Or a vacuum.
Or a vacuum is
Randy and
crazy.
Katie got a new vacuum. Randy and Katie got a
No.
new vacuum, and I need one. Need one like that. Because I'm tired of buying the $50 Amazon ones and them never working right.
Oh, fuck. Fuck. God damn it. I hate this fucking game. I just lost 2,000 fucking things because I fell off the goddamn ledge. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Ugh! You know how we say that we really try not to get mad?
Mm-hmm.
Figured out what does it. I don't know how I know because I'm getting really, really fucking heated. We'll send Pex when it gets to it. Absolutely. I appreciate you. When she sends it to me, I'll show you. I'll send it to you.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I hope it's a double sink. Oh, double sink.
I hope it has one of those like crane necks.
Yes.
I like those.
Yeah.
The really tall ones. Those are nice.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Oh no. Oh
One
no.
day when I do buy a house, I'll be able to YouTube all that stuff and put in my own things.
My own things. Temporary. What? I have special dust? Are you fucking kidding me? My bitch. My late. Y'all. I know it's my dick, but I didn't necessarily want to say that. Sit down. Fucking punk ass bitches.
Ride that sink, and I'm just like, oh, that's.
It's a big sink, one bowl sink. It's huge with huge tap and a sprayer at the end.
So it sounds like the big.
Is it matte black? Oh, I fuck with a matte black sink. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Ah, yeah.
They are so sexy.
I wanna. Sometimes I just wanna fucking like scrub all the chrome off of my sink and then find waterproof matte black paint.
You want to know how I know I'm getting old? Because I want an all black kitchen. Like, I already know what I want for my kitchen. I want an all black kitchen with neon lights highlighting the like top part of the cabinets and the under part of the island. I want an island. I love islands. I think they're really cool because then you can just have that as your like table and you don't have to have an actual table. Oh, so convenient. Anyway.
Yeah, I had that.
Unrealistic. I have a very unrealistic set of what I want my house to look like. It's not gonna be write that down. I want it to be like each room has its own theme, but like like the kitchen's gonna be like dark and well, because the way that I visualize it in my head, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be expensive as fuck because that's never gonna happen. Like, I can do a lot of painting and I can put my own LED strips up, but like there's other stuff that I want. Like I want a nice countertop that I don't need a cutting board for, that I can just cut on the surface.
Like a big slab of wood.
Not necessarily wood. I think you'd have to get like marble or something for it. I think it's that. that you would have
Yeah,
to get.
marble is expensive.
Yeah. So that's expensive. And then I want like a living room den area that like the TV can be like hidden, or you can like turn it around and like pop out the TV. And then there has to be a fireplace. Yeah, something like that. And then
Yeah,
the bedroom's going to be like a dark themed bedroom with like similar to the like the kitchen. I have it all planned out. Whether or not it actually happens, a whole nother story. But in my head, it looks really nice. Like, you ever seen those pictures where like, oh, which room would you pick? But like, yeah, I want a big kitchen sink. I mean, we're gonna have a dishwasher, but that's not the point. But with a little arch, little crane necks, with the sprayer that moves out. But I've got it all. So it's all in my dome. It looks great in my dome, but I have this thing where it looks good. I can visualize it really well, and I do this when I try to draw too, and I can't put it on paper or can't like recreate it the way that I see it, and I'm like, fuck. Like, I know what I want. The game room is gonna be crazy because it's gonna be okay. Partial of what it's gonna be because I'm not the only one who has to play on this too. 2 computers. There's gonna be a couch. There's gonna be a TV. But I seen this one video that had like 2 TVs. So the couch was like a sectional couch like this. And then there was a TV here and a TV here so they can both play games at the same time. I was like, oh, that's a good idea. And then there's going to be a bunch of nerdy shit everywhere. Oh, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. The walls are going to be colored. Marble or granite. Granite sounds better. I like, maybe. I don't know. It's always easy to come up with. Exactly. Wait, is it?
I don't know. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
But also trusting someone to do it as well. Like, I would love to. So one of the things that I really wanted to do is also learn. So a couple things that I wanted to do was I wanted to learn carpentry and like I wanted to be able to maintenance my own car, basically. But when I transferred from my one high school to my other high school, they no longer offered that class. So I took a tech class instead. And instead of actually doing like computery stuff, which would have been great, we did some carpentry, which there's a lot of math in, which hurts my brain. But like, we got to build shit, which was cool, because now I know how to use the saws and sanders, and I probably shouldn't own one. I'll probably lose a finger, but you know,
That's all right.
I'll let somebody else cut the wood. But I made a planter, like a giant like planter thing, and it was fucking huge. I had to assemble it, and then they're like, oh, it's not going to fit in your car. And I was like, so I have to deassemble it. Then I have to remember how it goes and then reassemble it when I get it to its location. They're like, yeah. And I was like, fuck, got it. Okay. So I labeled the pieces 1, 2, 3, and 4. But I got it. It looks great. It's great for planting
Well, I mean,
like
think about it.
herbs.
Like when we buy furniture to build now, they're all labeled.
That's true.
Hmm?
I'll teach you and use a speed. What is a speed square?
I don't know. Sounds like carpentry. They also use Pythagorean theorem. So if you ever
Hey, listen, I'm good at a
carpentry.
squared plus b squared equals c squared. You start
Yeah,
adding
how
other
much do you
letters, and
use
I'm
it?
like, huh?
how much do you use that a squared plus b squared plus c squared? Oh shit.
Not often.
Yep, I use it to show off to people. That's about it.
Use it to show off to people is wild. What do you do? A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Can you do that?
Yep. And anytime someone asks me a useless piece of knowledge that I have that I never use, it's not all the wrestling knowledge that I have. Oh no, it's Pythagorean theorem. First one that comes out of my mouth.
Vix, I'd be okay with
They
it
made
showing
it
every
seem
little
like
bit
it
of
was
crap in this thing,
critical.
because then I can clean it. Check your phone.
Right?
Oh, I don't like that. That's already terrifying to look at. A speed square, or a rafter square, is a versatile triangular carpenter's tool used for quick measuring, marking lines, and guiding saw cuts.
Oh,
Combining
I've
function
seen
of
these
trying
before.
squares, framing squares, and protractors. I know how to use a protractor.
yeah. So it's Pythagorean theorem on steroids. That's what I'm calling that.
That thing's fucking terrifying. Look at that. Hold on. Wait.
Pivot.
Pivot!
Pivot.
Look at that shit. That's terrifying.
All it really is just different tools put together.
You want to know what I do? I just use a tape measure and then I mark it and then I line it up and then I saw it and then I sand it. I overcut so I can sand it down. Speed Square is the most useful tool in my toolbox. I have bookmarked on Amazon a bunch of tools because I don't have any tools, and I'm like, I should really get a toolkit so then I don't have to rely on men, no offense men, to do anything. I just do it myself. Then I can really say I'm an independent bitch and I don't need no man. But, you know, why are none of those on your throne? Because I don't want... Who's gonna buy a tool set?
Bro, I'd rather buy you a tool set. At least I know you're gonna use it, and you won't ever like not need it. Because you could always say, if I get you, I don't know, something for stream, you could always upgrade and then not need that. I get you a tool set that's gonna last for years.
I know, but my problem with my throne list is that I'm like, what do I actually put on here? Because I see people put stuff on there for their kids or for like workout stuff, and I'm like, you want me to? Oh, you're raising your hand. I was like, you want me to put you on my throne list? What? Independent Ness, also, you'd be amazed at how many people would probably buy you tools.
You live 20 minutes from me. I'm buying you tools every year for Christmas.
For those of you guys, every tool, you get one tool every year. For those of you who know, I don't like promoting my throne list. It's just kind of there and I let it do its like thing in the thingy because I genuinely hate when people spend money on me and I feel bad just putting stuff on there. And like, my desk is still sitting in its box. One, because I'm still in shock, and two, I don't have any room to put it together right now. But also, if I move, I then have to take it apart and put it back together, and I don't know that I want to do that right away. Punisher, stop it! It's not even on there yet. But like, I don't know. I feel bad asking people for stuff, and you know, people keep telling me, like, Tassie yelled at me and told me to put a mouse on my throne, and so I jokingly was like, it's already on there, and then y'all went fucking wild, and I was like, stop it, that's not what we're doing. I appreciate you guys, but that's not what we're doing.
Yeah, I've got a ton of, I have all of my tools are in my car right now. Some of them aren't supposed to be in there, but I have a whole mechanic set in there with sockets. I've got like a household toolkit. I've got an impact drill and a regular drill.
I do need a
And
drill.
For the most part, that pretty much suffices my needs. If I need a real specialized tool, and I can justify that I'm gonna use it, I'll buy it. Like, I bought a spark plug socket. That's gonna be useful if I ever have.
What's a spark plug socket?
It's a regular socket, but it's magnetic on the inside to catch the spark plugs. That's all it is.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's got a little rubber grommet on the inside as well. But it's magnetic and has that grommet. That's all it is. I bought one at a flea market for 25 cents. Like, totally justifiable purchase. And then when I was with my ex, she needed her spark plugs redone, and she bought me a spark plug socket that had an extension on it, and it had like a wobble to it, so that way it wasn't like a straight socket. Yeah, so like it'll move and bend instead of just being like a straight bar. That way you can get into certain places. It's great.
I didn't know that you can also drop. Jesse was just telling me that you can also drop those and break them. I didn't know that was a thing either.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
The first time. That's why I buy 2 extra.
Vix, I was also going to find a basic plumber. So I was gonna do a complete transformation. I'm gonna be honest, and I was gonna like completely change fields to something that I know would like be needed constantly, like plumbing or something like that. Where the demand is most likely always going to be there. And I was like, do I really want to be a plumber? Like, I was going to go full force into it. And then I looked up some of the stuff that you have to do. And I was like, I don't know about that. But I was gonna like take a plumbing course. I was gonna take an electrical course so I can do my own electric. I don't know that I would do my own electrical wiring in my house. I'll be honest with that. I don't know if I trust myself like that. But I was thinking about doing that too.
Yeah. One thing. Electricity is scary. Not my thing. I'll jump a car battery. That's about.
I'll jump a car battery.
That's about it.
I'm pretty sure I've been jumping my car
about
incorrect
what
or
we call
jumping
that.
people's car incorrectly for the longest time.
Well, red goes on red, black goes on black. That's all you need to know.
Well, because I didn't know that the two things aren't supposed to touch. Like you're not supposed to touch them.
Oh,
And like when
Yeah,
I
don't touch it.
coil it, I coil it and then they touch at one point. Like obviously it's not hooked up in anything when they touch, but they're like, well, you really shouldn't do that either. And I'm like, what do you mean?
oh, as long as they're not hooked up to anything and they touch, it's okay. It's when they're hooked up to one battery, don't let them touch. It goes sparky and scary.
Terminal, not the battery.
I didn't know that.
No, well, now you do.
I didn't know that. Sorry, he was explaining something about the battery things. That you're actually not supposed to hook battery up to battery. You're supposed to hook your battery up
Oh,
and
no, I
then
know
hook
that.
the other one up to terminal.
Yeah, or any piece of metal for the ground works too.
Huh.
I have so like in my car, I have the battery under there, but I also have little places to hook up jumper cables. It's like a separate thing.
This is my motto.
Like-
I'm listening, but I'm also reading chat to make sure that I don't
Oh,
miss
no, I know.
anything. Drop it like a game or a fuck up. Hi Hoy, how are you? You also really shouldn't do the test spark, but that never stops me. Oh. So
Yeah, I
you
don't
you
do
just like
test
to
sparks.
play. I didn't even know you were supposed to. I didn't even know people did that. I literally the one
I
time
didn't either.
the one time I pulled over, it was really late at night. I was trying to help someone out because they were pulled off on the on-ramp to throughway, and I was like, well, someone's got to help them. That's a really shitty spot to be stuck. So I pulled onto the on-ramp. I did a K-turn, parked in front of them, and I was like, what's going on? They're like, I need to jump. I was like, I bet, say less, you know? And I was like, oh, look, I have something I can help someone. I know what I'm doing. And I was like, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm going to wing it. Okay, I was like, it can't be that hard. You gotta match up the colors and then match up the plus and minus, right? It'll be easy. I did it. I got them started, but you know,
No, yeah. I, mean,
I
and,
accidentally dropped
honestly,
them
when
and
I-
they touched, and I was like, fuck. Oops.
No, yeah. If they're not connected to anything and they don't spark. But it's always when you're connected to one battery. Anytime I help someone, I look at them. I'm like, hold these. Because I need light. I'm like, do not let them touch. Because it's fucking scary. And then if they freak out and they drop them, then it's a whole ordeal.
Maybe I should have a little test run. Maybe someone should. I also don't know how to change my own. Like I know how to change my own tire, but I haven't actually done it. So like,
No, that's not as hard as you would think. I learned how to do it literally on the side of a road. And it wasn't my tire, thankfully.
I'm about to rage quit. That pissed me off so much. My problem is I don't trust the jack that's in my car. Not even in the slightest.
Yeah, I know those small like generic jacks that come with the car are kind of sketchy, but they're actually pretty good.
Yeah, if you
They're
put it in the right
pretty
spot. You want to know
reliable.
who's not going to put it in the right spot? Me. I've also I know where it goes before you try and explain where it goes. I know where it goes, but the problem is in the event in which I need to pull over and do it myself, I promise you I will put it in the wrong spot. I've had someone Taylor, he showed me how to change my oil, and he explained where the jacks are supposed to go, and then essentially told me how I'm supposed to change my tire, but I've never done either of those. The one time I was going to change, you already know this, the one time I was going to change my oil, the time prior to me changing it, I took it to Walmart and they over tightened it, so I couldn't get it off because they used a power something, I don't remember the name of it,
Probably impact.
instead of actually hand twisting it. So I couldn't get it off, and I was like, well, this sucks, because it took me, do not laugh at me, I have ramps. They're plastic ramps, but they're ramps, right? Sit on the ground, go up the ramps. Problem is it took me 20 minutes to get on the ramps because it kept going underneath my tire. And I'm like, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. But I was also terrified to get on the ramp because I was like, I don't know if these are in the right spot.
Oh yeah, that's a whole process. It's when I first learned how to do it, it took me a minute. And for me, that's something, if you're gonna drive up ramps, definitely have someone to help you, because then you don't have to get out of the car and readjust them. Like I've always had someone help it. Even like when my ex was with me, I was just like, hey, I'll drive your car up the ramps.
Kind of hard to have someone help you when they're in a jail cell.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
I'm missing some comments, but I keep reading them, trying to, unless they're hooked up to a battery. Ah, okay, yeah. See, I didn't understand I thought it meant at all. They keep asking Larry to come out of retirement. Oh, he is an electrician? Oh, hell yeah. I kind of wish...
Boy, I don't know about that. Huh.
I kind of wish that...
hybrid not too long ago.
Schools pushed trades more. I didn't learn about trades or the option of trades until it was too late.
Same.
So...
Yeah, I would have went to tech and learned how to work on cars.
I meant for like
But
school where
I
it was
didn't-
like covered better or cheaper.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what it was called tech when I went to high school.
It was called Boshi's when I went to high school.
was probably the name of the facility that they used, where I grew up, it was like CIT, and the last
Brother, you can't use a regular
in
jumper
CIT
cables.
was tech.
Wait a minute, hold on. Wait a minute. Let me rewind this back real quick. Electrician isn't too hard. Just need a book once you learn everything. Certain a matter of touching and testing before you touch. I can do that. That's easy. Not a problem. You know what? I've been electrocuted before. What's the second time?
You'd be a great electrician.
Look it up on YouTube. Honestly, you can do a lot of shit on YouTube. Although I don't always trust all of it, because sometimes I've seen people do stuff and I'm like, you're not supposed to actually do that way.
A lot of the videos that I watch on YouTube are, it's a bigger, like, they're like a car place. They sell parts and stuff, but they also do instructional YouTube videos, and they're really good.
See, that's different. I'm talking about the people who are like, oh, this is how... They do it with computer parts, too, and it stresses me the fuck out. They're like, oh, I'm washing my PC parts, and they're, like, dipping it in water, and I'm like, some idiot is going to actually see this and do it.
Right? I hate that.
Because they don't even put, like, oh, just kidding, or, like... Because the ones that you know they're kidding is I'm like, oh, I'm washing my boyfriend's, etc. for, like, his PC, and they put it underwater, and, like, obviously that one's a joke. But, like, there's ones that are like, oh, this is how you wash your graphics card or whatnot. And then, like, dip it in water. I'm like, oh, my God, you're stressing me the fuck out. Stop it.
Yep.
But, Hoy, what kind of jumper cables are you supposed to use for that, then? How do you, for a hybrid? But what are you supposed to do?
See, I don't know if it was... I mean, I didn't know that part, but I just jumped a guy's car a couple months ago, and he has a hybrid RAV4, and I used regular jumper cables.
Ooh, you fucked up his car and didn't even know it. I'm just kidding. I've done oil changes with my dad. Don't over tighten the bolt to the oil pan to make... Yeah, so one thing that I knew, or that I found out, or I guess, and obviously correct me if I'm wrong, again, I had someone who's not a mechanic teach me this, so, you know, could have been a play. But, obviously everything's hand tightened. And then before you put the oil filter on, you're supposed to take a little bit of oil and, like, lube it up. And then put it on?
Yep. I use the old oil.
Hell yeah. Look, I know something!
It's the only thing my dad ever taught me.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. That's good to know.
Ooh, Chevy and Peterbilt. Damn, he worked on big trucks.
I have an idea. So, instead of doing all the cool interior things, I think what we need to do, and Jesse, you may or may not agree with this, but maybe I might be able to sell you on it. We can get a garage, like a big garage for our house, and we can get, it's going to be really expensive. We can get the lift for it, right? Hear me out, just wait. And we can do whatever work we need in the garage, but it's a big enough garage. It's like an industrial garage, and then it's just the house. It'll look stupid, but
No.
yeah.
One of the mechanics I used to go to, he had,
Fuck yeah.
he had like a big look. It looked like a giant shed, but it was a garage, and he had a lift in it.
Ooh,
And he
we
used
can
to
do that.
Also, those lifts are not as expensive as you think.
Really?
$3,500.
3,500 is it?
Yeah, and that's not, it's nothing fancy. It's a lift. It's rated for cars and probably most trucks. You're not gonna, pick up.
Yeah, I want to say he wants a truck, so we gotta make sure he can be able to pick up a truck.
Yeah, no, cars and trucks. It's probably rated for about 10,000 pounds, which is more than enough for most cars and trucks and SUVs. But yeah, I recently learned that $3,500 is, well, the price to buy one. There's probably an install fee or whatever for whoever does it, but I mean, I'm thinking 10 or 20 grand.
Oh, please tell me you're not gonna want a diesel truck. Okay. I was like, you can keep that thing outside, away from the house. Okay, bet. Well. All right, I like that idea. We're gonna do that. We're gonna have a garage. We're gonna live on top of the garage.
That's my dream.
That's fucking dope.
I want a garage like that where I can put a nice toolbox, a lift. A lift is good for some things. I've heard if you're doing tire work, like taking the tires off, keep it low. don't.
Oh, why would you
don't
lift it that
so
high?
Well, some people lift it high so that way when they take the lug nuts off, they can just pull the tire to their chest and put it down.
Oh, no. No. Hi, Potato. How are you? I'm doing pretty well. Had a good weekend. Had to overnap. All right, throw your goo. Oh, no! You stupid piece of shit, you motherfucker! Sorry.
Oh
We're
my
good.
God, he threw a fucking ball that far.
Yeah, but I fell off the edge like a dummy. Thanks.
Yo.
I did. Thanks
this
for
game
getting a lift,
stresses
and then
me
you
out
would have
when I'm not
raised
playing it.
to the roof of our garage. Oh, no.
Damn, we're 36.
Actually, I think we're 37. I think I didn't count one.
Oh, okay. Still.
I wasn't gonna count it, and then I was like, maybe I should actually be honest about it.
I honestly thought it was going to be more at this point, so I was going over for stuff like that, though, just because dying in video games is very cheap and easy stuff.
Yeah, but I want to count it every time. Yeah, it's from the sound is zombies, and then the on-screen display is from Death's Door, the little crow game that I was playing. I don't know if you remember that. But you can do that with Firebot or StreamerBot. I don't know how to do it through Firebot though. That's out of my realm.
You can upload code.
Yeah. I'm starting to think maybe I should just switch because you guys. Well, yeah, but that's not a code. Maybe I'd have to convert mine into a code and I can give it out. But like mine I actually did. I didn't do it through a code.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably the same process then that you did in StreamerBot.
I don't understand how I was able to use like a Windows 95 looking fucking program, but I couldn't figure out a goddamn. Am I that person? Am I that old person that's just like, I can't figure out this new tech shit? But like the Firebot's supposed to be really easy to use, and I'm just not big brain.
Firebot is it's a lot. It's very user friendly. I don't think she's watching. She's probably at work.
Huh?
Yeah. So no, I was checking the list for so Dark
Oh.
Vixen told me she's coming back soon.
Oh, nice.
And I have to help her with some stuff. And she got a new PC and she's kind of starting from scratch. So, like,
Nice.
she has all her files and stuff, but I told her I'd help her because she wants to. She does StreamerBot, but
Thank you,
she's
AJ.
like, StreamerBot was a lot, and I
I
was,
was-
like, well, we can convert you to Firebot. And I was just telling her about it, and I could basically send her my setup, and then
I feel like they're equally the same difficulty, but maybe that's just me being wishful thinking. Game's been pretty good. I've been switching on and off between baby mode and not baby mode. Right now I'm back on baby mode. But it's not too bad if you know how to parry, and I'm not good at parrying in games. It's a struggle for me. And this is my first Souls-like game, so it's going great, as great as could be. But also, how's your stream been? How have you been? I've been popping in on... I haven't really said anything, I'll be honest. I pop in and then I'm like, how's the games going? And then I just pop out. But I saw you go live a couple
listen to him talk.
I go over there to listen to him talk as crazy. He's more than just his voice punisher.
I know, but I watch the stuff too.
He's exploiting you for your voice.
Well, I thought my Prime came back, but it doesn't come back for like 2 days. I was gonna give it to him.
The one vehicle I miss is my dad's old pickup truck. Was an OBS, old body style. 1999 Chevy Silverado K5100. Zombie Kitty, hello. How are you? How you doing? If I ever owned a truck, which I did think about a while before I got my car that I have now. Because I was like, if I get a truck, then I can literally do everything by myself. I don't have to ask anybody for help, right? And I was like, how can I be as independent possible?
Truck dangs.
So I was going to get a truck, but I was like, if I want a truck, I want one of those small trucks, like the little Toyota looking trucks. Not like the new Toyota trucks, but like the small. If
Like
I could
the
show you.
Smaller ones, yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
And I was like, I would want one of those. Yeah. And I was like,
You
I
want
can get
like
one
a
of those and then
mid-sized
I'll be high on top of the road and I won't, just low to the ground and won't have people's headlights that are like right in my fucking eyes. And I was like, I can do that. And I was like, well, why don't I get a hatchback? And I was like, those look ugly. I don't really want one. And then I was like, let me just get a car. Just get what you know.
Mhm.
So I got a car. I was like, maybe I can get a van. And I was like, I don't know if but then I was also thinking about like gas prices and I was like, I don't want to pay for all that. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stick with a car. Smartest option for me. We had to scrap it. Part it out. Incurable condition. Brine rot. They put brine on the roads. What is brine? I kind of wish, and I guess because each location has different weather conditions, I can understand why they couldn't do it. But I wish that they really figured out what works best for certain weather conditions, and then they stuck with that. Little Quitty is Raven. Hello. How are you, aka Bird Boy, who has a laptop now? Hell yeah. What kind of laptop you got? It's the way that they salt. Yeah. We tend to honestly oversalt our roads when it doesn't need it. And then when we actually need it, we don't salt our roads. It's great.
Yeah,
But-
I'm learning it the hard way.
Yeah.
This is deep.
It's great, isn't it?
Ah, it's fantastic.
It's
Driving home with
fantastic.
Thursday when it snowed, or Wednesday night into Thursday, it was fucking terrible. There was ice under the snow.
Yep. No! Oh my god, Mm.
I'm about to let you borrow one of my Elite controllers. I'm going to tune that bitch so it's a little better for you.
This is an Elite controller.
Oh no. Oh, you know what? You're doing everything through Steam too, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I'm doing it through
You
Xbox.
should calibrate that bitch.
What do you mean? There's nothing wrong with it.
Well, you can make the sticks a little more sensitive or not sensitive. It almost looked like
I have this small little space and a big ass character that can't fit on the thing. It's a user error. It's not a controller error. I promise you. I'm well aware it's a me issue. I'm not gonna blame the controller. I'm the incompetent one, not the controller. At our state for using it because it murdered my childhood. Aw, I'm really sorry. Start suing the state and they're like, wow, you murdered my truck. Almost died driving with a donut. Hold on. Wait a minute. Great news the other day. My cat's kidney and thyroid levels tested great, so we're... Hell yeah, let's go! I hope for a speedy recovery for the kitty. Driving with a donut and traction controls off and slipping... Oh, hell no. Hell no. You will not... I will walk everywhere before I drive on a donut in the fucking winter. Hell no. If you fall again, I swear to God. I was about to Alt F4 the entire game. Just power down the Xbox without saving. Windows and my Xbox works on. Honestly, that's all that matters. As long as it works for you and it does what you need it to do, that's all that matters. Kitty equal bird happy boy. Let's go. I should sue the state because I didn't find anything else that would... Well, I don't know how well that's gonna go over you. That was a bad implant of thought on my idea. Don't do that. I don't think that will work in your favor, to be 100% honest. Somehow the state will find a reason to blame you. I'm a big cured of it, but he can be managed. As long as he's not in pain and it can be managed, that's the most important thing. No. I fucking hate this game. Suck my fucking dick. I was hoping if I bum rushed it that I'd maybe get over there. But I'll be honest, I forgot about the turny thingy. The wheel. I fucking forgot about it. Oh, can't believe it. How's your weekend, Punisher? What did you do? To take your advice and not and sue what you're gonna write. Yeah, I don't want you wasting money to try and sue the state. If I thought it'd be plausible and like you'd be able to get 100%, but you'd end up just wasting money to get blamed somehow. You're an expert person. I've been playing a lot of Dead Space. How do you like it? Did he leave and take a call again? Is that what happened? I think my problem right now is that I'm getting impatient with this game, and so I'm trying to rush it. Do you have Game Pass? Are you paying for Game Pass by any chance? Got the game yesterday? Oh. I don't like that when the zombies get to you. The problem is that I'm also trying not to use all my health either. Got premium Game Pass. Yeah, it's stupid expensive right now, and I'm really contemplating on stopping using it, but I need it for the next game series that I'm gonna play, so I'm just gonna bite the bullet and keep it. Why didn't you jump? Oh my god, you stupid piece of shit. I tried to jump that, and I know I can do it because I did it before, but I didn't want to jump. This game series is stupid. I'm just kidding. It's a really good game. I'm just struggling. It's fine. I know we can do it. And I'm pretty sure I have to fight that thing that I keep dying at, which means I have to keep going through all this, which is really annoying, but it's fine. But I don't pay for it. My mom does, so I don't have to. That's fair. Well, they also have this thing where you can, if you get enough points on Game Pass, you can basically just get a free Game Pass. Like, your points pay for Game Pass, which is kind of cool. When I used to be an achievement hunter, that was great, but I stopped achievement hunting on games and trying to gain, like, points for stuff. So. Oh my god. I paid for my sister's Switch. Well, that's nice of you. Fortunately, if you want to play any games now, you have to have a fucking membership for shit to get stuff unlocked. Like, but what I mean by that is, like, for the Switch, you've got obviously the Switch online, and then you have, like, if you want to get access to the 64 games and stuff like that, you also have to, like, pay an extra specific premium or whatever for that. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Right, I'm out to celebrate. Have fun. Enjoy your celebration. Be safe. I appreciate you stopping by. No, 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 no. Okay, nope. That's my own fault. I literally rolled off the edge. I was safe each and every time that I fell, but I decided to roll and overcompensate. Alright, fuck this shit. Alright, I'm gonna see if I can just go down here. I have my points. Can I just go down here? I'm tired of this shit. Of course not. Oh, I can. Big fucks. All right, let's go. We're moving on. We're not doing this shit anymore. I keep losing my stuff. There's nothing down here but a fucking box. I'm so annoyed. You piece of shit. Ugh. I do have to go. I don't want to do it, Dad. The save points are so far apart, though. It's stupid. 13, but I buy both of them for her. That's still nice of you. My brother would never do that, so, you know, that's nice of you. Really happy I found on Twitch a comfort place. Stop it. That's really sweet. What game are I... What game... What, oh my god. Oh my god. We're not going to talk about what just happened. My brain was trying to form the words and my mouth was like, this is what she's trying to say, right? Stupid. What game was I playing when you found me? I don't remember. Are you okay? No, my brain go burr. I don't compliments make me confused, and I'm like, what do? How human? No, 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 no. Can I jump on that? Can I cheat the system? Is that something I can do? Can't remember honestly, but it was a different game. I thought so. Dead Island 2, I believe. I don't think I've ever played Dead Island. Wasn't me. I don't even think I own that game. Okay, Nicole. You sure it was on Game Pass? Yeah, no, I've never played it. I've talked about it with I've talked about it with oh my god. I'm never gonna Scorp. I remember you playing it there? Are you sure? I played what do you call it? Dying Light. Are you sure it wasn't that one? Is I Crazy Human then? I'm just, just kidding. I'm gonna die here, but I'm also gonna only die because I want to try something. Fuck yeah, bud. Ain't no fucking way. You mean I've been doing this the hard way the entire time? Wait, is that a secret? Hold on, wait. I want to go down here. Oh, game fucking changer, bud. Casper, hello. How are you? How you doing? No, nope, nope. Fuck. That was my own fault. I have no one to be mad at but me. I was clicking the wrong button to try and run. Oh, I'm so excited. I don't have to do shit. Can't believe it took me less long. I realize that I can do this. Just bypass all of that shit. How far up does that go? Oh, it drops off. Never mind. You can be mad at me. Yanni, why would I be mad at you? Okay, just tired but hungry, so I can't sleep. Did you try taking a warm shower? And drink water. Water can help fill you up. And the people put salt on the roads. Be mad at me, I'll take it. But why you guys want me to be mad at you? What do you, what? Why? For why? Alright, time to go fuck some shit up. We can do this. We are badasses. I don't want to see you blaming yourself, but it was my fault. I made an oopsies. Did you mean to do that? Not answering. You did not mean to do that. Okay. Oh, shit. Yeah, I asked if you meant to do it, but you didn't answer me, so I answered, and then I was like, oh, he didn't mean to do that. He's angry. Do you wanna call me back regularly then? Okay. Were you talking to me or someone else? Sorry, I have Axios on the phone. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Step further. I got chicken. Hold on, I gotta put you on speaker so I can't hear you anything that you say right now. But I'm also trying not to die, so. Okay. Yep, and here I go. Imagine using a phone for phone calls? Yeah, well, it's phone call or FaceTime. I'm very needy. Very needy. So, you know. I have my comfort. So I laugh when people are like, oh, I think it'd be fun to date you. And I was like, you sure about that? Because then then you're stuck on the phone with me 72 hours. I don't get the phone unless it involves me getting paid or something. Yeah, I used to never, ever talk on the phone. I didn't want anything to do with the phone. I didn't want a phone call. I didn't want a text message. I just wanted to be left alone. My aunt, she calls me all the time and I'm like, just don't. You're wasting your time. I'm not going to answer the phone. I told her to her face, I said, I'm going to watch it ring and I ain't going to do shit. I'm going to wait until it hangs up and then I'll call you and be like, what the fuck did you want? Especially because she likes to call me when I'm supposed to be sleeping, and then I like tell myself, I was like, okay, we're gonna go to sleep. And then she calls and I'm like, you son of a bitch. That should have parried. I don't know why I didn't. You dumb bitch. When I worked phone tech. I don't understand the parrying in this game. You make no sense. Oh, now you work. Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up, back up. I really wish that there wasn't an animation for healing because that was bullshit. Can you get off of me, please, you piece of shit? Oh my god, what the fuck, bro? I don't understand why sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Need you to start registering my fucking button bushes because you're pissing me off. Oh, you piece of shit, I'm gonna die. Don't want to keep doing this shit. It's making me angry. Alright. I'm just getting angry. And now my stream suggested streamers. Wait, how? Why is it suggesting me if you follow me already? How do I... I'm confused. Wait, hold on. What? Extra bag. How do I get to my extra bag? Alright, we're gonna do some sneaky shit. Pissed off then pissed on is wild.
All right.
Oh, welcome back.
Making sure people don't go under bridges they shouldn't and break their trucks.
He is one hit. We are 1 for 1 right now. Come on, little bitch boy.
Got any long range attempts?
No.
Oh. Need like a flintlock pistol or something. Shoot him. Or a dagger to throw at him.
Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. I'm hiding behind a doorway. Why? Because I know you can't come in here.
Oh, you getting smart. It's like the clankers and Arc Raiders getting smarter too.
No, you piece of shit.
Damn. You hit him like 4 times and he hit you once and that was it. That feels illegal.
It's fucking irritating because I get stuck in like trying to do a fucking... It does a move and then like when I heal, it does a fucking animation and I can't do anything until the animation is over. It's stupid and it's annoying and I'm getting irritated. Bitch boy, I'm already here is wild. You know, I knew that's what comes with these games when you play them. Frustration, irritation, annoyance. It's fine.
Yeah, I think I need different words to describe Souls-like games because those just don't do them justice.
Well, now that I know that I
They're
can
literal
cheat
rape
my way
games.
up and I don't have to go through that. That was the problem, is I didn't know that I can go this way. So that was a whole other set of issues that was annoying. And like he can just keep hitting you and then put you into a wall, which is kind of fucking wild to me. And then he corners you and then you can't do anything. And I'm like, it's not, this is my parry button. Or maybe it's Y, I don't remember.
No, Hoy. No puns. Oh, that will just anger
Soul
the
crushing.
people.
No, I like puns. Puns are good.
Yeah, but in a game like this,
Puns are punny.
someone says a pun to me, they fucking say a pun to me, I'm gonna be like, really?
Let
After I just
me...
lost my entire fucking...
Well, I just get it back.
Yeah.
Perfect guard. Guard.
Not
You can block an
intentional.
enemy's attack by guarding. If your guard is successful, your character will take reduced damage, but sometimes some stamina, reduced damage. Guard regain. Blah, 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 blah. Perfect guard. Triggers a perfect guard and successful. But how do you do it? This one's
It's the
left
guard
bumper.
button. You just have to... So perfect guard, the way that works is...
Well, no,
you
I got
basically
that.
press the guard button.
I got that. Don't mansplain it to me. I just read it. I know how it works, but...
It's just a timing thing. Ooh.
Hold right trigger for charge attack. That's when you're supposed to do that. Okay. Using Fable Arts while guarding. Right, okay. My brain hurts.
Nessie, I keep losing money at the horse races. They're just so much faster than me.
Yeah, I
Stupid.
still have to play Elden Ring at some point, so I'm not looking forward to that.
It's been on my list, and now that it's officially in my list, like in my games, I can officially play it. Okay. I know I can do this. We can do this. It's not the end of the world. We can do this. We can do this. We can do it. I'm trying to convince myself, not you guys. Oh, I didn't know that you can add... Oh, on there! You didn't have to do that. See, I get stuck, and he doesn't want to move.
Oh yeah, because he guards
It's
you.
fucking huge.
Yeah, his guard. So your guard and his guard should do the same thing.
Whoa! Oh, I didn't mean to use both those. Fuck. Put some space behind us. Shit. No.
Oh, red attack. Probably can't parry that or guard against it, is my guess.
No, you can. You just gotta be careful. I need to go out here and repair my weapon is what I need to do. Don't chew on your lip all day. You use a lot of pepper. What? There's a sneak attack that I can do, but he, for some reason, sees me every time. Like, there's no way that I can get past it.
Yeah, I see that. He has like some kind of sense. I wonder if you can parry around him.
No! Fuck you, you piece of shit! Sorry. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Ah, got him.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Sorry. Oh. Okay. Okay. Oh, look, the door opened. Please tell me that there's a save point in here.
Actually, it's just another boss.
That's not funny. I would cry.
I mean, that's how these games be.
I think you should be able to. I think it's a quote ad. I don't honestly know. That's not a... Can I not use this? Fuck you, I got you feeling. Oh, 100%. 100%. Please be a save point down here. I'm gonna cry if there's not. That was just the boss's guard. He's weak. Don't say that. Please don't say that. Save. Save point. Save point. Oh, please rise. Big fucks. Okay. We see Moo. Fuck you. Okay. All right. Now that I did that. Now that I did that. We Gucci. We good. Let's see. Where should I send you boys? Andy's playing golf with friends? Ooh, you want to know who's live right now?
Walk with your friends? Ooh.
Miss Bronco.
Do I follow her? I don't know if I follow
I don't know, but if you're not, you should wait and do it when I raid out. Okay, so I'm going to send you guys over. I like your face. Oh, thanks. It's a yellow blob. Boom, roasted. Enjoy the rest of your day. I appreciate you. Don't tell me you're ending. I'm gonna cry. I am gonna end. I might do a makeup stream tomorrow or Wednesday. I haven't decided yet. It depends on how I'm feeling after work. To make up for the canceled streams this weekend. But we'll see. Technically, my mom helped me grow it, but it's okay. I will play that by ear. If you're not in the Discord, join the Discord. That's where you get all the most frequent up-to-date updates on what's happening. I'm most likely to put it there. I do try to put a comment and pin it in chat if I can, if stream's canceled or if there's any updates, but I can't always do that. So the most up-to-date updates are in Discord. So feel free to join. I'm going to send this over to Miss Bronco, who is Mr. Bronco's lady. She's playing Arc Raiders right now. If you're lurking, I would appreciate it if you'd step on a lurk just for a minute, just so you can post a raid message over to the one and only Miss Bronco. The first 3 are going to be for followers. If you are subbed, you can use any single one of them. Pick your favorite emotes and go spam them. Show her some love, some Nessie love. She has been with us for quite some time. Her and her man have supported the channel, and I would like to show her some support. What else? I think that's everything for now. I don't know what the plan is for the rest of the week. I will let you guys know when I know. I'm just kind of getting on a jet lag and all that extra shit. So I appreciate you. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Remember that you are amazing. And I will catch you on the flip-flop. Bye. See you later. See you later.